What's going on, guys? Dylan here from Goldberg Strength again with another video of the week. This one's going to be a little bit different. I also decided to wait to record this one until Sunday, being today of the release date, because it's my birthday and I turned 24 today. So I wanted to do a different type of video. Mostly you've seen I've done a little bit of vlog stuff and then some informative content. I also want to give you guys, though, a glimpse into who I am as an athlete and a person, what I think, little plans and stuff like that, essentially. So this video is going to be a block recap. We're going to talk about some reflections of training, new strategy moving forward, and then also future meet plans. So today is my 24th birthday. Obviously, with that being said, if you are a powerlifter, you know about powerlifting. That means I have hit UNC status. So I'm no longer a junior. So I'm now in men's open. Fortunately, I got a decent base, I think, for a natty at least. 410 dots, 1554 total. Decent, I say, because I have a long time left in this sport and there's a lot left on the table to accomplish, which is nice. I had a nice junior career, though. So to get right into it, before we even talk about the block, my first men's open meet has been decided. I talked with my mentor, Aaron, and we have decided that January 8th is going to be the day. This is going to be very interesting too, because I have not done a power bar only meet since my second meet ever in 2019, which at this point has been like over 6 years ago, you know? And I had like an 1150 total at 190. I was like 17. So that max out vlog you saw, we'll talk about that a little bit too. That was my first day back on like a real power bar. And I can tell you, it's a hell of an adjustment. I feel like how they call like Shay a free throw merchant. Well, y'all can call me a specialty bar merchant, because I've been used to that equipment for over half a decade, we can say. I've had the privilege and luxury of being able to train with that, and then also choice of federation. So beyond that, right now we have an end date. Obviously, about I want to say about 5-month timeline. I'm going to do a shorter prep so I can continue to give my body a break and let it heal, because the volume I've been doing, though, has been working. The strategy of how we're going to approach this, though, is what's going to change, right? So I experimented with a 5-week block to start off my off season. With that, we had a SBD day, a lower day, 2 upper days. It worked well. You know, solid 4-day-a-week program, nothing crazy or special. A lot of volume, just readjusting, and my bench variations were targeted because of my pec being strained, just healing it, increasing the range of motion, getting used to it, because it was more tender than anything else and like tight. So fortunately, by the time I started getting under a bar, because I gave myself a 2-week break, that set me up to where I'm like, okay, great, I can get back into the swing of things. So I did the 5-week block, right? Weeks 1 through 4. We had the conversation during my deload week about the meet. So I'll tell you this, as a coach, athlete, I didn't do the wisest thing. I was primed for a set of 5. We went in and tried 1. So that SBD, those are the results you get when you don't follow the damn game plan. And as a coach, I get frustrated, but sometimes, you know, people learn the hard way, and I am people, apparently today. But with that being said, so I had a conversation with one of my good buddies, because I'm running my current off season. Shout out to Mitch. I love picking and choosing because I control my off season. I do a very good job of off season programming for myself as an athlete. But when it comes to meet prep, I tend to overshoot. I can be a little too aggressive with myself. And this is why coaches have coaches. There's a lot of value in it. For me, I'll tell you straight up, the value in me having a coach during meet prep, it's going to keep me from overshooting. That second pair of eyes might be able to see something when I'm going heavy, technically breakdown-wise, that I might miss. And that's, again, self-evaluation is different than another pair of eyes that's going to be objective, you know, point blank, period. But for the off season, let's get right into it. So with the power bar, a lot of weaknesses were exposed. And I think that's where a lot of my frustrations and emotions came from that day, because I hold myself to a very high standard, and I told myself, and you guys, if you watched the video, you would see it, I am not going to load something that's going to kill me. Straight up, every single lift, your boy got fucking just, we won't even do all that, all right? But basically, guys, you know, it was an interesting experience, and it exposed a lot of weaknesses. We got to address those weaknesses. So what are the changes going to be moving forward, right? I'm keeping 4 days a week, right? In my opinion, I think 4 days is most beneficial for powerlifting, at least for me. A lot of my athletes will run 4 days a week. I believe you can still make progress on 3, but 4 to 5 is going to be your sweet spot. Any more than that, I'm going to be real, that's overkill. Like, I don't think you really need 6 days a week powerlifting, you know, like, but you know, there's people out there that might disagree. Whatever, teaches their own, right? So the new strategy, though, we're keeping the SBD day, but we're going to do 2. So it's going to be 2 SBD days, an upper day with upper accessories, and then a full body accessories day. That way all the volume and everything's getting touched, and I can also focus on the efficiency of my training, okay? So the first SBD day is going to be my secondary SBD day. So I'm still going to have competition bench, but it's going to be a volume day. Still going to be doing squat, but it's going to be tempo pause, then back downs. So it's like top single, back down, and then multiple back downs. You know, it's kind of like a little descending pyramid, if you will. Deadlift, I've never done snatch grip in my life. I was recommended it by my buddy for setting your upper back, because I will tell you straight up, the positioning on stiff bar is completely different than a deadlift bar. It's probably not news to a lot of people, but for a guy who's been pulling on a deadlift bar for 5 years straight, yeah, that shit was a wake-up call. Like, I'm going to be real with you guys, you know. But again, snatch grip, that's going to fix a lot of problems. I will tell you guys right now, the grip part, because I'm an anti-strap guy, it is insane. It is insanely hard to grip, but I'm hoping I can get my grip strength up and help with my upper back and setting my upper back and my positioning, because the one thing that's not going to change is the grip and rip, but the way that I'm leveraging my body is what needs to change. So that's the overall goal of that, right? Secondary bench day stays the same. That's going to be a Duffalo bar. That's been helping a lot with rehabbing my pec, and it's been building its tolerance up. The biggest part now, and that's why I picked November as the meet, a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of this rehab is going to be mental. Because that 353, the reason why it crushed me is because I fucking did a negative, because your boy was so scared of getting a pec pop or something, I don't know, but basically I need to get my head out of my ass with that, and I'll tell you, as an athlete, it's hard. That's the hardest part coming back from an injury, I would say. It's not the physical ability, but the psychological, especially when the strength comes back and then you start to like touch weights that, you know, where you were before. But ideally, onward and upwards is the direction we're heading in. And Isaiah 54:17, I always pray that over my life. No weapon formed against me will prosper. And if you're watching this still, no weapon formed against you will prosper either. Carry that and remember that. The accessories day is going to be fun. It's going to be like a bodybuilding style day. And it's just going to be, again, everything is just shit that I suck at. And that's the whole goal, is basically I'm going to take all of these weak points so that way my weaknesses, I'm not saying they need to be a strength, but essentially it's like, think about it. If you got a 2K player and he's a 90 at 3-point and like a 70 at mid-range, you're probably going to want to give that mid-range some love instead of maxing out his 3-point, right? What happens when you bring that 70 to a 90? You're going to get a bigger jump than you would getting the 90 to a 99 on that one skill versus the other skill that's lacking. So that's how I'm looking at it, basically. If you want to compare it to a 2K my player, I am spending my VC on getting better so that way I can go in this meet and have the meet that it really reflects my strength. Because yes, I've dropped a weight class. Yeah, you're going to get somewhat weaker, but I can tell you, all of those misses, even though it might look strength-wise, I've reviewed it. I've had multiple people I've been in touch with. There's a lot of really, really fucked up stuff with my technique on that power bar. And it's very humbling. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But sometimes you got to drop the pride, drop the ego, and embrace the challenge, embrace the struggle, embrace it. It's in a way, it's kind of like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's suffering, but like, it's very hard mentally when you know that you're capable of more, but you can't give more. When you literally have nothing left to give and you're leaving it out on the table, and it's just, you know, it's one of those things. And again, if you're an athlete, you can relate with me. If you're a powerlifter, you can probably relate with me. But overall, last block was successful. I got my body healed, which was my biggest goal, right? You know, my pec's feeling better. I can bench at least 308 now. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't heavy in my hands. I just need to make sure I'm good, right? You know, squat, and my movement pattern is improving, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily concerned about weight or load right now. More or less, refining the movement pattern, which I did last block, getting all the inflammation out of my body from doing 2 preps in a row, which I accomplished that already. My body feels a lot better, guys. Even, I can tell you right now, working part-time as a bartender, full-time, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I don't know. I work a lot, though, while I coach. And I'll tell you, my body feels better now being on my feet for 12 hours in a day than it does when I was in those preps. So right now the goal is just to preserve, rebuild, redesign, and then reclaim my spot. But now in men's open, because I look at it like this next meet, this is the foot in the door. This is where I'm either going to step forward or backward. And I have a choice, right? Because, I mean, let's be real. We have a choice. Success is not guaranteed. And I'm going and picking a meet on a bar that I suck at. I'm taking the risk. So if there's one thing I can tell you guys, when we do this meet recap, and I'm sitting here talking about the meet recap right now, just like 5-6 months down the road in my new crib too, just remember this video, and remember, sometimes you have to take the risk and do the thing that scares you or that you might not be fully confident in because of what is going to be reaped from what you sow. And what I'm just sowing, work, hammer the weak points, humble yourself, get better. That's my mentality right now with training. So a lot of those clips on shorts you guys see, those are old training clips. Why? I don't have a special highlight reel, because the reality is most people that are going to move up in this sport and be successful, they're not going to run themselves into the ground, right? You know, like for me, I look at myself like I'm like a Toyota Tacoma. I'm trying to hit 350K miles, go on these crazy road trips, meaning these like big crazy meets and all that down the road, you know, and do all that. How do you get there though, you know? You don't do all the flashy stuff all the time. I mean, think about it. That's why the fucking luxury cars will shit out after 100, 150K, you know? So when you think about it, right, a long-term goal of mine is longevity, but think about it even in the short term. What's the point of running myself into the ground now when I can just build momentum? Because powerlifting, especially meet preps, are a momentum game. Other than that though, guys, I just want to thank you for letting me come on here and do this. I want to thank everybody for their support. I really did not see myself on my birthday doing a video like this. I did not see myself even having a YouTube channel going into my 24th year on this planet. So I want to thank everyone that's watched this whole video. God bless everybody. Thank you guys for the support. And we're going to keep hammering, keep being consistent, and keep growing this. And we're going to touch and impact as many people as possible. This channel will not stop, and it will not die with me. What you see here, this is a legacy that I'm going to pass on to my kids and anybody that I can help along the way, whether it's physically as a coach, maybe you just need advice, maybe spiritually you need someone to talk to. That is the purpose of this. So, you know, thank you guys for allowing me to live out a part of God's purpose for me and enabling me to do this, and for everyone's support. It means the world. I love you all. Until next week, my friends.